Tune into YouthLinks. Get up to date with all your local teen gossip at YouthLinks podcast, where everything's such a blast.
Welcome to our podcast. My name is Mariam Kadir.
And my name is Tassin Habib.
We are young people from Tower Hamlets creating a podcast by young people for young people on issues that are relevant to you.
Today our amazing guest is Sultana Begum. Welcome, Sultana.
Hello.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
So I'm Sultana Begum. I've been a primary teacher for about 9-10 years. Been working at Mulgrave Primary for the last 7 years.
Okay. So we have a warm-up question. So if you were on a desert island, what are the 3 things you would need to survive?
Water.
Everyone says water.
Water, maybe a bit of shelter.
Yeah.
Possibly some food.
Okay. So what would you say inspires you?
I guess my inspiration was always my parents. My dad was always very hardworking, and my mum always had high aspirations. So although she was from back home and she couldn't speak the language and so on, she knew that education was a big deal.
Yeah.
And she always said, well, try and study so that you finish uni and get yourself a good job. So I guess it all started from home.
Okay.
Personally, what does success mean to you?
Success means to me when you have a moment or an achievement that you feel very proud of. My initial goal was to make sure that I had a stable job, so for me that was success. To make sure there was stability, so that for my daughter, for example, I needed to make sure all her needs were met. So for me to be able to provide for all of that is success. To put food on the table, that is success. So the smaller things for me is a big thing.
Okay. So leading on from that question, what's the best advice that has helped you along the way to becoming successful?
Never give up. I think it's really important that you understand in life you will find lots of challenges. You'll come across many different types of challenges, whether it's at home, could be outside. For me, for example, I got married very young. I had my daughter when I was very young, but I never gave up. And because of that, I can proudly say I am where I am. But I know many of my friends at school, some of them gave up, and they may be happy, but I can't see myself being happy in their position. And I guess it's about how much it means to you and how badly you want it. I guess that's one of those things. It's about wanting, isn't it? It's about your own willingness.
What is something that you like to do during your spare time?
I like to stay active. I'm not sure if Joyce has told you. I do kickboxing. Currently now doing taekwondo. So I'm a bit of a active person. So
that's good.
I mean, I stay active at work anyway. But when I come home, before COVID, I used to go gym a lot. But I haven't gone back since COVID. But I still try and maintain doing a bit of running here and there and bits and pieces.
So do you feel pressured to keep up with the standards of your job?
Oh, the standards never drop. You have to. I guess in terms of teaching, I don't think it's just teaching. It depends. Whichever career you take, your standard should always be high. You should always aim high. Just because you don't achieve it doesn't mean you drop it. You should always aim to be on the top. And that's how you get more successful, I guess. It's always about trying to find ways to stay on top of everything. And in one of those, it's about being organised, having a list, ticking things off as you go along, and you learn through life experiences. I remember I used to try and look for shortcuts before. I still do, but now it's about finding smarter ways of looking shortcuts. It's not making sure that you meet the requirements before you cut corners. Sometimes it's best not to cut corners depending on the situation. So I mean, when you're younger you don't really realise and you just cut corners thinking that you're saving time, but as you get older and with life experiences you realise by cutting corners how it impacts you and how it impacts your job. So
okay.
What is a funny memory that you recall from your teens?
I guess I've got loads. So spending time with cousins, I've had lots of really good times with my cousins, and then I've also had amazing time with friends. We've bunked school. I shouldn't be really saying that, but we've skipped a few lessons here and there. Where I think one of this may not be funny anymore, but we used to jump on the train and let it take us to the last
right
stop. Yeah,
spontaneous.
Yeah, and there's times we decided to go to Heathrow Airport.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And
That's
That's really random.
just went to Heathrow Airport, ate there, messed around, spent the whole day. It's like because it was indoor,
Yeah.
and we wanted somewhere where we knew we were going to be safe. So we thought Heathrow was the place.
Of all places, the airport.
But we just thought we weren't bumping. We're very unlikely to bump into anyone. So we used to go. We used to do some really silly things. I mean, ice skating was one of them. I used to come home with bruises and cuts and all sorts. I don't think I can do that now, but literally I used to come home. When I was even younger, I used to do a lot of cycling, and I think I used to spend a lot of time with boys. So we used to like climb into people's gardens and nick apples.
Wow.
Apples?
Yeah, because that's what you can
Healthy.
find. We used to nick apples from people's gardens and get chased by little like uncles and sausage you come back chasing us. So I've done a lot of like climbing trees and climbing sheds and stuff. I have
Random
done
stuff.
Yeah, and I've broken my legs here and there as
Wow.
well along the way.
That's painful. Okay, so how would you deal with difficult situations?
Me personally, I'm a very calm person. So it doesn't matter how difficult the situation is, I usually step back, and I'm not someone that would go straight in, head down, and be all angry about it. I always step back and I reflect and I think things through before I make any decisions or do any actions. I don't react straight away. If you spoke to any of my friends, they would tell you wouldn't normally get a reaction from me that easily. I don't react at all. I'm quite reserved in that sense. No matter how difficult it is at home or difficult it is at work, you can never tell. I know my manager, the head teacher, can never tell if I'm stressed out. And I'm not someone that would say I'm really stressed. I won't go out. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but that's my way of managing difficult situations. I find that being able to reflect makes you identify different solutions, and then with that calm manner, you can approach the best solution. And sometimes talking, I might talk to my friends, might go home and talk to my mum, and then see what everyone else tells me, and then take it from there.
Okay. What is one of your favourite food?
Oh, I think rice and curries.
I had a feeling you were going to say
You can't beat rice and curry.
You can't. You honestly can't. You can't.
A proper meal, that's got to be it for me.
It's homely.
Yeah, exactly.
What is your proudest moment so far?
For me, I guess achieving everything that I've got in life is definitely something to be proud of. I guess another proud is to be a mum of a nearly 17-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, thank God she's getting on with life. For me, that's a huge success.
Yeah,
you know, that's definitely a proud mummy moment. You know, watching your own child grow up, and I guess having that relationship and that bond with her is definitely an amazing thing, because I see that many people don't have that. So you know, we're very open, very friendly. She'll tell me everything, I'll tell her everything. So
that's good.
Yeah.
At the moment, what is your favourite music?
I don't know.
Bit of everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever's on the radio, to be honest, I just listen to it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of anything. If whatever's on, I'll just listen.
Who is your biggest role model?
I guess in terms of career-wise, my friends would be a great role model to me, because they've achieved very far. One's a deputy head, another one's head of sixth form. So, and they're both in renowned secondary school. So, for me, they're like role models where I want to be.
Yeah.
Maybe later in life. My mum's a huge role model in terms of knowing that she's come from back home, and she's very independent at her age. I guess the activeness comes from her. She's very active. She's in her 70s, but you see her out there shopping, gardening. She doesn't rely on anyone. Yeah, she just gets on with it. And I guess my dad as well, you know, he's always taught us to be independent. He's always said never depend on anyone.
Yeah.
And I've seen him the way he's always been towards my mum. And I guess, you know, your parents set you those examples for you, don't they? So whether I see my dad as a role model or my mum as a role, they're both role models in different ways.
What would you advise your younger self?
Don't change anything. I wouldn't change anything in my life, to be honest. I think, you know, just carry on.
Teaches you
Exactly. All I know I haven't had a perfect life, but everything I've had that may have been a huge challenge for me at the time, I've come across so many difficult situations, but you learn from those situations, and the fact that I am where I am and the person that I've become is because of those challenges, and it turns you around and it makes you who you are. So I wouldn't really change it.
It built you up.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay then, thank you, Sultana, for your time. It's been really interesting talking to you and we really appreciate it. So
thank you for listening and see you next time.
Thank you.